Tonight on People Can't Read or Write in America. Bum bum bum. Starring John Cusack. All right, we sound good. This one goes, America is illiterate. Yay.
One of the biggest things that I've learned since working in healthcare, and this is not to be rude to anyone, it's that America has a huge problem with a large population of people being illiterate. And I don't just mean like don't know how to read and write, because that is whatever, you know, like.
Wait, isn't that the definition of illiterate? Nestor, look up the definition of illiterate from Merriam-Webster's dictionary.
You don't know how to read your paperwork, I'll read it to you, no problem. But the amount of people who don't have listening comprehension skills are insane. The amount of times you have a sound mind patient, someone who is totally with it cognitively, and you have to explain again and again why they cannot do something, like, oh, you can't eat because of this, and you explain and explain and explain, and they still don't get it. I don't know what it is, but family members, patients, loved ones, you tell them no, it's like telling a 5-year-old no, they do it anyway. And you repeat yourself so much in healthcare, you just have to get used to saying the same thing over and over and over again like a robot.
Well, I don't think that's so much of an illiterate problem. Did we get the definition on that?
An individual who is unable to read or write.
Okay, so I think he's talking about people who are just stubborn, you know? I mean, I get it. Like, I know cigarettes are bad for you. They'll cause you cancer, but I was still just chugging them down, right? Like, people know that if they eat too much food, then they're going to get fat, but they do it anyways. I think I do get what he means. I do think there is like there is an illiterate problem. Like, people, there's a good portion, at least on the internet, of people where I'm like, they can't really speak properly. And there are a lot of people who cannot read. I knew a guy. I'm not going to say his name, but he literally couldn't read. And so when you'd give him directions somewhere, now you have Google Maps and stuff. I'm talking 15, 20 years ago. You'd have to tell him, like, yo, you know, the McDonald's on the corner by that school. He'd be like, yeah, you go make a right. He'd be like, okay, you know, it's like the 3rd Street, make a left. You'd have to really get specific with the guy. Let me see. Everyone is so argumentative and entitled. They told us in pharmacy school the average reading level is 3rd or 4th grade level. To keep that in mind when initially communicating with patients. See, I have a hard time spelling, but it's not because when it comes to the illiterate thing, anybody who's like a regular viewer of the show knows I stumble across words. Yeah, I'm not the best speller, but that's because it's a memorization thing. It's not that, like, I could read stuff that's totally misspelt, but I get what they're saying. You know, I don't pay attention to that fine line detail. But there are a lot of people who, they have a hard time understanding pretty basic stuff. Math is kind of scary to me. The amount of people that don't know basic math, that's kind of more terrifying. Actually, not really, because when you're driving, you got to read the signs. Just imagine all the people, like I live in South Florida, all the people coming over from Haiti who can't, like, they don't read at all. They're just driving. No idea what the sign means. They're just going. Fuck it. That's a real thing. All right. Teachers have been screaming this from the rooftops for years. Let me see. The movie Idiocracy is about to be a documentary. I have conversations with people all the time and realize they use words they hear but don't actually know the definition of the word. Well, that's like a prime example of this dude saying America's illiterate, but really what he's meaning to say is they're having a hard time comprehending actual words. So there you go. Yeah, people use definitions all the time that don't actually mean what they mean. Let me see. Working with the general public is so insane. I'll break stuff down to a kindergartner level, and grown adults just to do the opposite or act like you're challenging them. Let me see. I wonder if a lot of this is dealing with people coming from other countries where like English is their second language. That might be a part of it. It's because of the anti-intellectual that has become pervasive. There were always stubborn and difficult patients, but now everyone thinks they're an expert because they can read a paragraph on the internet or joined a forum about a condition. Well, a lot of people got to learn the hard way, you know? Like, we're going to do whatever the fuck we want to do. Like, that's just how it goes. Wait until you work in a restaurant and you've explaining to someone why we can't seat their 4-person party at a 2-person table 50 times on a Saturday night. Oh, man, I worked in the restaurant business. You worked at a hospital, Nestor.
Yeah, I worked in the emergency room. I was the money guy.
Oh, that's rough, dude.
It sucked, bro.
That is rough. Hold on. Yeah, this guy was kind of going a different direction. Let me see. 83 million voted for Trump. I believe you. No, dude. This is how Trump got elected. People couldn't read. They go, who am I voting for? I can't read. They go, just pick this one. I'm just joking. I don't care who you voted for. We're still here. Okay, this is why the country is so heavily religious. It fills the gaps and soothes out fear. Okay, I don't know where they're going with that one. When I was younger, I couldn't understand why they were reading comprehensive parts on standardized testing. I thought they were just being lazy and that it was easy points. Now as an adult, I realize how few people are actually capable of this. It's disappointing, really. Well, another thing too is like with schools, they just like want to pass people. They don't really care, and that actually comes down to the parents, right? Like, this is a big problem. You know, I was raised by pretty smart parents, and school or not, if I didn't know basic math, or if they noticed that I was having a hard time reading, they weren't gonna let that slide, dude. Like, Nestor, you had pretty cool. Your parents wouldn't let that slide, right? Like,
no,
they're gonna make sure you know how to read, write, basic math.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, dude. I think that it's beyond the schooling. It's beyond that. You got to think about it, right? How many people come here from another country? And I hate to say it, but it is like a big part of that is the parents. I'm sorry. It just is.
Dude, but I agree with the it's the qualifications to pass with education, like middle school, high school, but now even college, man,
they're just handing that shit out.
Oh, bro, now like you can take an exam in your room, and I heard people cheat on their exams at home. I mean, I would never personally, but I mean,
I've cheated.
Yeah. Oh,
women. I'm joking.
Okay, well, since you admitted, I cheated on my college exams. Don't tell the University of Florida, please.
He's got his degree. It says Nestor cheated with excellence.
Dude.
Star pupil. Well, that's another thing too. When you just cheat your way through it,
Yeah.
You're not really learning it. But like I said, if your parents didn't notice that you can't read well, I don't read too good. If you can't read well, speak well, you don't know basic math, I'm not even going to blame the school on that one. I think a lot of my stems from... I think a lot of that stems from entitlement. I've also noticed that an insane amount of people are just delusional now. It gets worse during COVID. Like, if you're not telling them what they want to hear, it's like they have no memory of it. I think media has trained them to only seek information that they agree with or they want to believe. Okay, this whole thing went a little far. I'll leave the information of this guy down below. But I will say, I have noticed that because I pay a lot with cash when I go places. And a lot of times, especially younger people, they gotta bust out a calculator. You know, for basic shit here. You know, we're not talking about complex numbers. You know, I give you a $10 bill, the bill's $5.70. You know, you do the math, $4.30 back. It's pretty basic stuff. And yeah, I don't know. But people seem to be doing just fine. I don't think it's as extreme as they make it to be. What do you think?
I was going to say it's funny because I help you out with spelling and grammar sometimes, but then you help me out with math and quick number stuff.
Yeah,
so it's almost like our brain kind of, I don't know, picks and chooses what we think.
Also like the grammar police. For instance, just because you could spell everything perfectly, that doesn't really mean anything. Do you understand what you're spelling? Like, like I think that's more important than spelling it correctly, right? Like if I'm reading and I mess up a word, big deal. It's not the end of the world. As long as I understand and I comprehend, which I guess what this guy's saying, as long as I comprehend what you're telling me, whether I read it correctly or not, as long as I get the message, I can move forward. That's all that matters. Like, you being able to spell perfect doesn't mean shit. Honestly, math's probably more important than you being able to spell a word correctly. And understanding it is more important than you memorized how to spell illiterate. You get what I mean? So I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. Class is adjourned. 5th period is over. Have fun at recess, guys, okay? Don't have too much fun. If you want to copy on your test, talk to my assistant, Nestor. He will help you, ChatGPT. I think the ChatGPT thing will end on this note. I think it will get worse. This will get worse with the amount of people that can just go, hey, do this for me. I think definitely in the next 10 to 20 years, people might rely on I rely on it, but I mean that we might rely on it a little too heavily is my point. Like somebody recently goes, what does Nestor do here? Like all he does is get AI overview from Google. And I'm like, what do you want to do? Run to the library? Is that what you want him to do? Like what?
Let's open some books and get
Class is over. I'm getting the hell out of here. Classic.